Yeah, I'm what the internet needs, but what the streets hate. It's my birthday, come blow the candle out on this beefcake. Stop lying, tell the truth. I am legend, this is the bar you measure to.
We didn't think this was real.
Maybe we should all just link up and do some music together.
How serious are we about putting together an album and then having it filmed?
To be honest with you, I have no idea what the last mixtape is.
This is the last mixtape. This documentary is the last.
Oh, is that what this is?
That's what it's called.
Lord knows I'ma give it all I got. I'm never giving in. If I rise to the top, it'll pay off in the end. Sometimes I feel lost, I don't know where to begin. Ain't trying to stop. Yeah, I can do this.
D-Bird just mentioned to me this idea of going out to a mansion in Texas and recording an album, and that's kind of right up my alley.
People who've never met before in real life, putting them in a house and saying you have this much time to create an album.
Okay, it is a real place, yes.
Hell yeah.
White Collar Rhymes is exactly what it says. It's just, you know, people who work jobs and rap.
Online collaboration's great and stuff, but like the actual like feeling of being like in the moment and like creating like, yes, we got this, like let's go. And it's a feeling like nothing I've ever experienced.
White Collar bringing heat, we ain't even hit the peak.
It feels like we've known each other for years.
I've seen D-Bird on camera. I've seen his stupid little dab, and I hate it. I've seen Cody Nash, you know, jittery and amped up when he's excited about, you know, conspiracy theory he wants to talk about. I would have been more surprised if somebody behaved differently than what I've already come to know.
It's crazy to see you and you and you.
Oh wait, wrong one. Here we go. All right.
Yummy, yummy, yum.
You been hit? Don't shoot. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, or gentlemen and gentlemen? As I'm sure any smart lady would kindly avoid whatever's about to happen tonight. What else we got here? What else is on here?
Give me flowers.
What is this? Oh yeah, got the air horn. Got the passive.
Gang, 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 gang.
All right, we're ready to rock and roll. What's up, folks? It's pre-Turkey Day. I'm Dice. I'm here on behalf of White Collar Rhymes. Doing some things. It's Wednesday. It's pre-Turkey Day. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day if you're in America. If you're not in America, tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day anyways. America first is our policy, I believe, is what I've been told. So that's what I should support. And we're here to hang out with the subscribers. If they have subscribed, or if they've not subscribed, tell them how much fun that they're missing out on. Got a couple songs in the queue tonight. Bird is off flying, some shit, and Nikki's off working. So, you know, of course, your resident no life, low life is here. Here to keep you guys company. How's everybody doing tonight? Shout out Jacob. Shout out AD Rocky. What up? What up? What up? What is this? You know what this is, man. You know what time it is. Don't act brand new around here. Got little pretzel dogs left over. I got my bubbly sparkling water. I'm ready to rock and roll. Not really much in the news. I mean, same old, same old. I was just reading about a volcano that erupted over in East Africa, and it's got of course, the ash and everything floating up over India and into China. I think we're pretty fortunate we don't have too many. Well, I mean, we have catastrophes in America, but volcanoes is like low on the list of catastrophes that we deal with. But I guess all things considered, we still got hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, earthquakes. What else? What else is there? Mudslides, little pits that form out of nowhere from underground water. Maybe we do need volcanoes. Why not? Why stop at the short list. Round it out. America first. Maybe that's a little crazy to say. We did have when was the last volcano eruption? Was it Mount St. Helen in America? I need a stat boy. I need an intern. God damn it, is what we really need around here. I need an intern to do all the grunt work behind the scenes while I ramble on the show. That way I don't have to like fact check myself. But anyway, a couple songs in the queue. Got one from The Fallen Dove and Kuiper. Looks like Kuiper's already got 2 thumbs down, which is definitely to be expected. I did talk to Unit earlier today, because for a while him and Kuiper were keeping scores that we were doing during the shows, and he apologized to me. He said he unfortunately had better things to do with his life, and he did not have time to keep track of the scores that we accumulate for folks. So that's that. Maybe I'll figure out a way to do that stuff on my own without an intern, but highly unlikely it'll be very consistent, good, or even like appealing. Somebody will probably catch wind of it and be like, you should do this every show, and then I'll just shrug my shoulders and, beg for mercy. In other news, Arc Raiders has erupted across the globe. It has fueled lots of raiding patrons of whatever colony Esperanza that they come from. It's filled my Instagram reels with some hilarious moments. Yeah, air horn for the Arc Raiders. And it's filled a lot of my time that I should be sleeping at night with scavenging for fruit and cat beds for a pet rooster named Scrappy, which last night ended up with myself and Jacob hunting for mushrooms. I was only gunned down one time, so I think it was a overall successful venture. Definitely has you questioning your life choices when you're investing that much energy into it. But here we are. It's a good game. Kill some time in between other games. I know a bunch of people in the community have been taking part as well. G-Baby, Catalyst, I think Stevie, Ray Stans partnered up. Ray Stans is definitely hit the old man syndrome with it, though. He gets a little agitated if he loses his stuff. You gotta prep him in advance. All right. While I'm rambling, I'm gonna get the first track loaded up. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Now we play that. If I can check this box right. All right. First track we got up. The Fallen Dove, Upon a Star, produced me version 2. Let's take a listen. And I hate the Queen in Arc Raiders. Killed me yesterday. I survived today though.
Blast off, I wish I could. Yeah, look up, there's more out there, man. What? Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah, fuck this common life. Let me explore the galaxy. Fuck you normal guys, let me explore the universe. Wishing on me, wish on stars. Let us pray a better day. Stay for me, yeah, more days. Wish on me, wish on stars. Let us pray a better days. Pray for us, yeah, more days. All my life I went on, I realized I'm no one but you I depend on. I can't lie, I sold us, so now I look up and stare at the vast, and now I'm hooked. when the star passed. Wishing on me, wish on me, wish on stars. Let us pray a better day. Stay for me, yeah, more days. Wish on me, wish on me, wish on stars. Let us pray a better days. Pray for us, yeah, more days. I see a better place. It's a world up in space, and I see that pretty face in the moon that I chase. How much more can I take with all the demons I shake? And how many more days till I see them in my wake? Pray for me, I'm praying for you. Stay for me, I'm praying on a star. Pray for me, I'm praying for you. Stay for me, I'm praying on a star. Wishing on me, wish on me, wish on stars. Let us pray a better day. Stay for me, yeah, more days. Wish on me, wish on stars. Let us pray a better days. Pray for us, yeah, more days. Let us pray a better day. Stay for me, yeah, more days. More days, just a few more, just some more days. Let us pray a better day. Stay for me, yeah, more days, just a few more, just some more days.
All right, that was Upon a Star by the Fallen Dove. Production wise, it was okay. It feels like a lot of your beats kind of sound very similar. But this one was okay as far as arrangement. There was a couple of parts that I wanted to speak on a little bit. This one here.
And now I'm hooked when a star passed. I sold us, so now I look up and stare at the back.
Now I look up and stare at the back. It just comes off very, very, very robotic. Like there's no smoothness to the delivery. Like, and we've talked about this before, where it's a lot of the word choice in the delivery that makes the feeling of the song better. And like this section here especially stood out to me because it just feels very forcefully paced, because there's not enough words, or there's to fill out the pockets. Where's D-Bird? I don't know. Somewhere in northwestern Oregon or Washington. But yeah, it just feels very robotic.
And now,
and then this section here.
In my wake, pray for me, I'm
Pray for me, AA. We got on Cyclone about doing this a lot, where you kind of force vibrato into your performance rather than letting your voice have the vibrato. Like, there's no reason to go AA if you're not like doing a chant. You could just go A and extend it out. And I feel like that kind of dials into the breath control versus the writing aspect of it too. So I think it's just really the performance issues that I hear on this, which don't really, make the track feel a little bit more fluid as it should. But decent beat, same issues I hear with performance. I would say this one gets a 4 from me. Shout out Sully. Sully is working on an album ish, I believe. I don't remember. I can't keep up with all the happenings. I try to pay attention to everybody. EP, there we go. Try to pay attention to everybody, even if everybody doesn't want me to pay attention to them. Even if they don't like me. I'm not saying Sully doesn't like me, although he might not, but try to pay attention to everybody so I can at least acknowledge them when I see them. Looking forward to some of the new projects that are supposed to be dropping from some of these folks. Sully, I know Kuiper has been hyping up his project. Casper, who has disappeared, but his band was working on something. Casanova dropped something a few months back. Nick Bonin was supposed to be working on an album. Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting. I guess I'll start on my next album while you guys finish up your stuff. I think I found a graphic artist to work with via just randomly. Oh, deleted it off of Apple Music? Really? Not that I don't believe you, but let me see if it's elsewhere. We should call him out and ask him why he did that. Casanova West Side. I believe this is him. Nope, that's a different Casanova. Who the hell is this? Definitely not the Casanova we know. Anyway, oh, I gotta find that. Yeah, let's ask him about it. Because when I listened to it, it was a good album. Definitely worth listening to. So, need to see why he had to take it down. Maybe there's something we can do. I don't know. Oh yeah, other news. For those of you who didn't see in the chat, I ordered this microphone the other day. Boom. We're not sponsored by Aston, nor do they know who we are, but I ordered this Aston Origin. I've heard lots of things over the years about it. It was actually a microphone that I was going to get before I ended up spending 3 times as much on the Naumann TLM 103. I haven't opened this yet, so I guess this is like a semi-live unboxing. But we can all enjoy this together. You might be asking, hey Dice, you have a Shure SMB right in front of you, and you have a Naumann in your microphone booth. Why do you need a third microphone? Good question. I don't know. It was on sale, and it was a good deal. It was a deal I couldn't pass up. Usually these things are like $250, but it was going for like $120. I figure why not? Try it out. Maybe I'll have like some specific uses for it. Got a nice little sticker here. Pop that on something. Got some instructions. Look at the beast itself right here. Still in a little baggie. Do I want to open this? Because my other thought was, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'll find some unfortunate schmuck in our Discord who says, oh my God, I really need a microphone and that's all I need to finish my project and yada, yada, yada. And I'll be like, oh man, I got a microphone sitting right here. I don't know. I've kind of taken a step back from giving away equipment because I think 95% of the people that I've given away equipment to in the last 2 years have all left the Discord. There's only like 3 of them that I can name off the top of my head. So, yeah, probably my days of giving away equipment are long gone, and you will have to work extra hard for something like this out of your boy. It's a lot smaller than I thought it was. I thought it would be a little bit taller, but it feels hefty. It's got some nice weight to it. All metal body, got a wire or mesh windscreen around it, metal windscreen. It looks cool. Actually, the windscreen that I have on my TLM 103 is for the Aston. I don't know if you guys can see this little metal contraption up here. Oh, you can't see it, but that was what I actually got for my TLM 103, but it's made by Aston. It was made for this. I don't know. I was gonna try it out. Is it shaking? What the hell's in here? Oh, that's a little. There we go. Okay, no loose pieces. I might leave it in the baggie, but I might test it out to see if it gives me some. Oh, got a nice little pin I can put on my shirt too. I might test it out to see if it sounds like, gives me some different sounds for some different tracks for some different reasons, but yeah. Who knows? But yeah, I got it because it was on sale. And microphones don't normally go on sale other than like, I don't know, like 20, 30, 40 bucks off. So I figure I'll put this in the drawer until I have a specific use case for it. I know from time to time people say that the microphone on here kind of like washes out. I was gonna get another Nauman to put here, but I think it costs like another $1,000 that I just don't think I need to spend at the moment. Got other shit going on. But yeah, I don't know. I know a couple Christmases ago, yeah, we did a gear giveaway. I think that was like our first official Christmas in business. Yeah, all those motherfuckers left. I haven't seen anybody we gave other than Jacob. I think Jacob. No, that was before that. All the motherfuckers are gone. Yeah, it's crazy. Sully, good luck with that. You got a microphone, man. You got one of these. You don't need a microphone. I don't know who hates me, and I don't lose sleep over it. So, not saying you, Fallen Dub, but if anybody does hate me, that's on them. I'm just here to give people input on their music based on my previous errors and observations in making my own music, but also working with other people and my time and experience working in a recording studio. So nothing I say is personal unless I directly tell you that I don't like you. Yeah, I don't know what Kuiper's waiting for either. Here's the thing that I don't know about other artists other than the few that I've worked with closely is people's album process. Like I know a few people who are similar to me, but I've seen people take years to like make an album and they say that it's not done yet. And I don't know. Everybody has their different process. I'm not here to critique the process unless somebody asks me to, but I always wonder what's going into that process. Like, are you trying to find a perfect beat? Are you trying to make one last song? Is it a concept? Because usually I haven't seen too many people really put out a concept album. It's just a like conglomeration of songs. So take from that what you will. What up, Stevie? You want a Jacob shirt? Here's this. I'll think about it. Maybe on when is Christmas? Christmas is fuck. Guess I'll be doing this Christmas Eve again. Maybe Christmas Eve we'll give away a few merch items. I'm not doing equipment anymore. Fuck that. 'Cause I give you equipment and you leave the server, I start feeling personally attacked. I feel some type of way. Because I invested in you being able to do your music and your passion projects, and in turn you say, you know what, this place doesn't matter to me. I'm just gonna go wander off into the abyss. What up, DJ Tongue Hero? Okay, reading what Sully said. The only thing I can say about that is I think that I've learned over time, the less time that I spend on the song, the more likely I'm going to appreciate it when it's done. Unless it truly involves like a lot of collaborations with others where like, I don't know, I need a verse from somebody or I need a hook from somebody or this producer has this beat that I want, which is like very far and few between. The faster I get a song done and at least like mixed to a point of listenability, the more likely I'm going to keep it. If I keep going back and I'm retooling it like weeks, months later, it's definitely going to sit on my hard drive for a long time. Like all of the singles that I released over the summer, those mostly have been sitting on my hard drive for like 3, 4, 5, 6 years. Some of them like longer than that. So things that I just kind of like fiddled with here and there, they're not going anywhere. If I'm about to release an album, I'm just like recording and moving on. Because I usually know during the recording process or during the mixing process whether or not I like it. Because A, either I'm not able to deliver it or perform it the way that I envisioned it in my head, or B, when I'm trying to mix it, it doesn't sound like how I want it to sound. So if I don't abandon ship at either of those 2 points, I'm getting it done. And then because usually what I do for an album, let's say I want to put out 16 tracks on the album, I'll make like 20, and then 4 of them I might be on the fence on, or 6 of them might be on the fence on, and I decide I need 2 other ones because these 6 don't fit. So it's kind of like a do it with a vision in mind and then figure out what pieces fit in that vision. But like I said, I mean, I was trying to work with shout out to Swaglean. Swaglean, where you at, man? You're supposed to be putting on a project. I was trying to work with Swaglean and Catalyst on some albums that were supposed to come out in January, but these guys have been giving me the cold shoulder. I don't know what I did. Well, listen to Kuiper's track here. It's called Catastrophe. See what he's up to.
We love Max.
Cause every thought you shared fade away from you, and every lie I hear, I hope that it's not true. I've been at war so long, I think I'll call a truce. You pointed, you laugh at me, a direct blow, a catastrophe, as they beg for help, and you flee the scene. You're trying to cut the fuse, it seems. Just let the dust all settle, cause you're the only one I need. Like what the fuck? Fuck. Something sucked. Let the time run out and watch the fuse. You just let go. I knew that the spark I felt was you. What a show. You smile, you're not around till it all falls down. Fall from mountain peaks, or I'll be okay. I always doubted wouldn't. This effort I put in, and I always should just believe, but I couldn't. Cause every thought you shared fade away from you, and every lie I hear, I hope that it's not true. I've been at war so long, I think I'll call a truce. You pointed, you laugh at me, a direct blow, a catastrophe, as they beg for help, and you flee the scene. Cause you're trying to cut the fuse, it seems. Just let the dust all settle, cause you're the only one I need. Like what the fuck? Fuck. Something sucked. Let the time run out and watch the fuse. You just let go. I knew that the spark I felt was you. What a show. You smile and all round till it all falls down.
This was Kuiper with Catastrophe. I know this isn't his guitar playing just because it's a little bit more intricate and involved. What's up, Ray Stans? Where are you? You finished your journey? Good song. Vocals are still hard to hear. I think this is just a consistent, predominant problem in Kuiper's mixing, is that the vocals, his voice range, it always blends in super heavy to guitars. And, you know, if you're not going to ask anybody for assistance with mixing, you just got to keep tooling with the EQ and some compression to make it pop over the guitars. And maybe it's not just EQing your vocals. Maybe you need to kill a little bit of the frequencies on your instrumental in order to find that space. But, you know, just sometimes your voice kind of blends in a little bit too much to the guitars, and it's hard to hear what exactly you're saying. a good passionate song. I think it expresses emotions between like the sung parts and the scream parts pretty well. It doesn't feel awkwardly interjected with screams. The one thing that I would say that's more so a nitpick on the instrumental is that it felt almost too much of the same up until the end. It had like a little bit of a change up section here at the end. This piece. But everything I've been at war so long. It's just kind of it's just very super heavy throughout. And I don't know. I feel like the way that this song came off, it needed like a more of a gentle break in between it, but that's not a knock on you. I think it's more of a arrangement issue with the instrumental. But still a good song. Kuiper still has a good voice. I give this one a 7, maybe 7.5. I don't know. I just feel like it was missing something, some sort of polish on it that would make me really like it more. But I mean, he always has good melody, so I don't know. Everybody else can glaze them all you want. I still feel like there's work to do, mostly in the mixing. What else is going on? Oh yeah, Ray Stan's traveling. Shout out to anybody who's traveling this holiday season. I don't know if they've still depleted like air traffic controllers and pilots and whatnot. I know here where I'm at, they like shut down 20 some odd flights or something. I don't know. It was actually when I was going to go travel somewhere, I ended up canceling, which was a good thing because that was the same day that they canceled a bunch of flights. I don't know if mine would have been impacted, but I don't know. I heard on the way to the airport today, there was so much traffic that people were just like getting out of the vehicles and walking, assuming those were people who were like Uber and lifted over to the airport. God knows what would happen if you like drove your own vehicle and you're like, I got to make this flight and should leave your car on the highway. That's desperation at its finest. But I don't know. I couldn't even imagine doing that. I mean, knowing what I know about navigating to DFW airport, I'm not fucking walking there. It's crazy. I've walked just from like one terminal to the other and nearly like bulked myself up with 10 pounds of muscle. No way am I walking down the highway to get to the airport to get on the flight. They're going to have to find me the next flight. Fuck it. I'm just not a pressed person like that. Maybe that's my flaw. Ladies, that's my red flag is like, if I'm late, I'm late. What am I going to do? Anywho, I'm not traveling for the holidays, so if you need to bother me, catch me on the Discord. Or if you want some advice on your musics for the upcoming Sunday show in the free queue, drop it in the Sunday feedback channel. We'll be here. Well, I don't know if Bird will be here, but I'll be here. I don't know when Bird will be back, honestly. I probably should ask these things. We probably should be a little bit more professional and organized in what we do year 3, 4 coming up. But time will tell. All right, I got another song while I was rambling earlier from Swagleen. Not a song, but a beat. How much is this one worth, Swagleen? It's only 1 minute and 11 seconds, so it can't be $100,000 beat. Probably like a $30,000 beat. Here's Beat 35 by Swagleen. That was Swagling Beat 35. What a talented kid. Production, getting better at the rapping, and I think he's pretty consistent at both of them. I like this beat. You didn't give me a change up at 30 seconds in, but you gave it to me at 40 seconds in, which is fine. The one thing I would say about that counter melody, it sounded like a sharp synth that you added in there. I feel like it would be, in my opinion, smoother as a wind instrument, but in that same key. It just feels very, not necessarily basic, but it feels predictable with the instrument that you use there. But I think with a wind instrument, it'll feel smoother on the ears, and it'll give whatever artist's voice on top of it more space to breathe and operate in. I feel like that piano is so sharp, you probably have to turn it down a little bit more volume wise in order for it to sit in the right sound pocket with what you have right now. But as far as like a baseline starter of a beat, I think this is good. I was nodding my head along to it. Curious what you usually end up doing with your production. I know you shared like a lot of beats with us. Do you sell your beats? Do you just keep them for yourself? Are they all for Bigger Sean? Like, what do you end up doing with the Swag Lean beats? Is there like a Swag Lean repository of some sort? I have one that you sent me that I still plan on using, but you know, I kind of wonder that the same way we were talking about artists earlier who work on albums forever. Like, what do producers do just accumulating beats on their hard drive? Like, what's the end goal? Are you a hobbyist, or is there a plan to monetize your hobby at some point? I think everybody should do that. I tell Nara on the Discord that all the time. You know, even if you sell a beat for $5 or $10, value your art, value your hobbies. Like, I'm not one to support cracked software and hijacking things, but you know, if you're doing things by the right methods and the right processes, you're buying software, you're buying a DAW, you're buying plugins, you're buying sounds, you're buying instrumentals, you're doing all these things. And even if you don't consider yourself a career musician, you can still value your work. You can still say, hey, regardless of how much I invested in this, every beat that I sell will be $5. Every beat that I sell will be $10. And maybe you start selling so many at $10 that you feel like your demand goes up to $20. You don't know, but not putting a value on your time, I feel like, is a disservice regardless of where you're at in your journey. So, you know, I continue to tell people, even like people doing verses for each other, man, put some sort of value behind your writing, your voice, your performance. You know, I'm not saying it needs to be done every single time, but certainly jumping on every like open verse that you see, it doesn't give you anything back. I mean, I think people think it's getting you exposure, but if you and the other person that you're working with both have like 20 fans is not a lot of people who are going to be like, oh, who's this new person? I'm going to start listening to their stuff too. You got to really like branch out beyond that before you start to see a return on like free open verse stuff like that. So all I'm saying is put value on your work, you know, even if it's pennies right now, it could be dollars later on. So build your effort up, build your worth up, and do that. But yeah, I say that to say, curious where Swag Lean stands on his beats, and how much he sells them for. Yeah, you can send me the EP. I'll listen. I will definitely listen. I might reserve all of my responses for like on air content, but I'll definitely tell you what I think about it. Yeah, send me the EP once you get it done and arranged. I'll check it out. Always down to support the community. But if you leave the community, I will shun you, I will ridicule you, and I will call you names. That's just the unwritten agreement that I have with anybody who joins the Discord. We're cool until you're gone. Once you leave, all agreements are gone off the table. What else? What else do we have in the news? Anything else that you guys are interested in, want to know, anything that we need to do, especially for the subscribers? Dog wants to go out the office, but I don't know if I want to open the door. As long as cops keep going. Yeah. So I was mentioning that earlier in the voice chat. I was gonna do the Square Up Song League playoffs, end of November, but here we are, end of November. Most of the Americans are like, I got family, I got job, like I don't know. All the Americans are preoccupied. Not to say that this is heavily dependent on America, but definitely like half of the competitors are doing holiday stuff. And then in 2 weeks we have Christmas here. Or I guess Christmas everywhere for any Christians that celebrate it or believe in Santa. So my thought is New Year's, we'll start bringing back the competitions, finish off with the Square Up Song League. Still owe $100 to the winner of that. And then after that, my thought, and this probably be a good moment to bounce the idea again off of some people, but was to do monthly buy-in tournaments, whether it's production or artists, but like nothing expensive, but like $5 buy-in. Winner takes bulk of the prize pot. However many people sign up is however much you get back in return, but single elimination tournaments, that way we can get through it quickly. But that way we can do something monthly, and it's not just like a time suck type thing where it's like, oh, I'm making all these songs for these competitions and it's just too much. It's too much of a distraction. I'm trying to work on an album. Like all these things that I hear from people, like if you need some incentive to make some music, how about some money? And so my thought is we do like a monthly buy-in tournament, maybe multiples, maybe there's like a production one, maybe there's a song one. I think we had some banter for a short time about a mixing one, but I think that's a way to also keep competition fresh, pay back the people who obviously win, but also like maybe like $5 of each prize pool goes towards like future server endeavors. Maybe there's like a giveaway at the end of the year where it's like, hey, if we hold, I don't know, 12 tournaments throughout the year, that's $60. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but that's my forward thinking thought of like, how do we give back to the community and not just take from the community? Am I doing all the voting or did I regret that? That is a good question. Did I regret it? Yes and no. Yes, because, well, let me take a step back. So I did all the voting on the production tournament, whereas the Square Up Song League was voted on by anybody who's on the server for more than 3 months. Saw a lot of bickering, saw a lot of like, oh, I'm going to vote against this person for one reason or the other. I'm not going to rehash old things, but I definitely saw a lot of cliques forming and a lot of awkward opinions, people making things more difficult than they needed to be. So I said for the production tournament, fuck it. I'm going to eliminate that. If people want to be mad, they can be mad at me. I did all the voting myself. It worked much better. No bickering about votes or anything. However, I did regret it because it really did come down to like fractions of a point, right? I did a decimal system and like some matches were like 0.3 of a point off from the winner. But I did describe why I was voting on what I was voting and what I was voting for and why I came to those conclusions. And none of the producers had any, objections or like called out, like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, or, oh, yada, yada, yada. So I think it worked out in that regard, but it was definitely like kind of, I wouldn't say stressful, but it felt burdensome to draw conclusions on which one really was the better beat between the two. But I tried to listen to them as like individual pieces and then just kind of keep it moving without like, there was certainly no personal strings attached to it. It's just like, okay, I like this beat. Here's why. Don't like this beat. Here's why. Yeah, and I do wish that like the community paid more attention to the production tournament because there were some dope beats that came out of that. I think all the producers did a great job, and I think we got some really dope and interesting pieces of work. Shout out to Kyle Moody who won it. Certainly did not see him coming, but when people were asking me like who did I have, like who did I think would win when I got like one beat from everybody to kind of rank everybody, I was like, man, it's Kyle Moody guy might be a problem, and he ended up winning it. And I think that was a you know, Noir ran into some time constraints and he didn't finish one round. Gons took a risk on something. You know, some of the other people that, you know, like my top 3, 4, or 5, they didn't quite make it. But, you know, I definitely saw Kyle Moody as like, oh man, this guy, he's definitely got some heat. But I do wish that more of the community paid more attention to it, especially given the fact that for a while, especially last year, we had a lot more producers being active on the review show than we did artists. So, you know, maybe people were just listening and they're not saying anything, but maybe without drama and, you know, people arguing, there's less obvious and apparent communication. But I didn't quite get the sense that people were listening as much as I thought they should be. But we have a lot of dope producers in our community, and I do salute them, and I'll try to do more to make them a little bit more prominent in the community. Do I think a 3-person panel would work better? Yes and no. So here's the thing about panels is people have to have some level of respect for the panelists. So I think if there's, and the counterpart to that is finding 3 people who will dedicate the time to actually listen and vote on all the beats. And finding some like pretty neutral people as well. I'm not saying that we don't have neutral people that could act in that role, but you have to be neutral, like no beefs. Like if you have beef with a producer, you probably shouldn't be voting on it. You know, you shouldn't be like biased about a certain genre. Like if you don't like drill music, you probably shouldn't be on a panel because somebody might be a drill specialist. Those type of things. But I think the hardest thing about a panel voting is consistency, right? Somebody has to be available at the deadline of each round to vote on all the beats, listen to it, and, you know, thoroughly give it the same energy for every single submission. So that's why, like, for me, when I did the community voting on the song competition, it was like, all right, there's no requirement for like people always having to vote on every match, every round. But there was also no criteria on who was voting. You had somebody who could have been like never made a song in their life voting, and then somebody who's been making music for 20 years voting. Does that change the outcome? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe like majority rules in that favor, and like, you know, good music should bubble up to the surface and that gets done. But I didn't see that happen consistently enough to feel strongly about it going forward. Like there were some moments where I felt like the better song got voted against because of, you know, missed criteria, however people wanted to interpret it. So I think a panel could work in the right setting. I don't know that we have a panel available in this setting right now. Could change, could not change, but I just don't think that we have a panel of consistent, willing participants at this moment. If you guys have some suggestions or some nominations of panelists, all open to that. But I definitely think for anything that I do for the time being, as far as hosting, I'll just continue to stress myself out over the voting. Because at least, like I said, if people want to be mad, they're going to be mad at me. And if you're going to be mad at me, you should know before you sign up that you are going to be mad at me and don't even sign up. Don't even bother. If you feel like you're going to like not agree with it, like Jekko, he signed up for the production tournament. I told him, hey, send us a beat. I'm going to give it a score, and then that's how I'm going to rank everybody. Send a beat, gave him a rating. He's like, sign me out. Cool. Adios. If it's not for you, then keep it moving. No strife on my end. Adon, I think Adon could be a good judge. However, I don't know that he has the capacity to want to do that. And also, I think that he does have some strong opinions on some things that aren't quite developed yet. I think he's a good judge of like what sounds good and what doesn't. But at the same time, I think he has some strong opinions that are definitely like left field from some other people. I don't know. Maybe one day. I did say it would be funny if he and I did like a review show and just reviewed albums. Because for what it's worth, sometimes I usually agree with his takes on music. Like, some things are just bad, and people are like, oh man, this is great. And that's like, man, that's not good at all. What are you people hearing that's so good there? But yeah, who the hell is this? Oh. But yeah, there's something else that came to my mind. Can't quite remember what it is now. Struggle of being alone. I'll remember it. But yeah, anyway, finish the Square Up League January. Try to do monthly tournament February. And then I don't know when Bird is going to redo Battle of the Bangers, but I did ask him, and he said he was interested in doing part 2 of that. So that will be early next year, I anticipate as well. So got some tournaments coming up. What else? Bird has been rumbling around about doing a second season of The Last Mixtape. If you famously have not watched or heard of the first one, shame on you. But a few years ago, some of the founding members of White Collar Rhymes rented a mansion. Everybody flew out there for a week. We recorded a bunch of tracks, filmed the process, made a documentary out of it. It's available on various streaming platforms. Bird definitely wants to do a second wave of that. Don't know what that will look like yet, but we are like kind of like bouncing some ideas around and like trying to figure out what's next. So maybe some more news will come from that over the coming months, but definitely something to keep an eye out on. What else is happening? I think that's everything. Anything else? Any other tidbits? What's the gossip on the Discord? What are people saying? What's going on? Fill me in. I don't see anything. Cock loops too. You know what? I'll listen to, I think Adon has politely called them C loops. I'll listen to the first one. I heard a couple of the beats when the idea was first bounced around in the Discord, and it wasn't really my cup of tea. I'll revisit it though whenever it comes out, and I'll give it a chance. But with a name like Cock Loops, I'm definitely less interested than I probably should be. It's over an hour long. That's okay. The other thing I was thinking about doing is maybe just starting a one-off stream where people can submit their songs to, and I listen to it. And if I make it past like the first 20 seconds, then I'm adding it to a playlist. Because, I mean, I know people think I don't leave this office. But once a week, I go into my work office, and it's like a 30-minute drive. So I would listen to, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back worth of music. But I was thinking of making a show where I basically like the best of the best get added to this playlist. But if it doesn't make it past 20 seconds, I'm not. It's not the review show format. I'm not listening to all painful 4 minutes of you like struggling through a song. If I can't get to 20 seconds and be entertained, I'm pressing the next button. Definitely hurt some people's feelings, but you know, if you want some listens from me a few times a week, I'll throw on that playlist and I'll skim through and shuffle that shit. I don't know when I do it though. It's got to be like a, I don't know, one off like 30, 45 minute show, cuz I'm not going to be sitting here like listening to everything. I'm just going to say whether I like it or not. But I don't know if people are interested in that. But yeah, I'll check out Cop Loops, or C Loops, I should say. An hour long. Maybe I'll play it while I launch into some Arc Raiders. I gotta see what else I need to do on that game. Play some other games probably. I tried to play Days Gone earlier. I need to finish that game. I have so many games I need to get my money's worth. I need to quit my job and just like become a full-time gamer. Bring back gaming streams. What kind of gaming streams? Like community gaming streams, or just like me playing a game and just chit-chatting? Good old Lethal Company type games. Yeah, my son asked me the other day because I had my clips up. He's like, when are y'all going to play Lethal Company again? I'm like, everybody stop playing Lethal Company. I haven't seen somebody even breathe the words Lethal and Company back to back in like 4 or 5 months. Do people still play Lethal Company? I thought it was a good game. People moved on to like that mountain climbing shit, and then I guess RV There Yet is new. The little convenience store game. What else did people move on to? There's something else. I don't know. People just, there's like games of the moment chained together. Like games seem to have like a 2 month virality, and then here's the next game, and people kind of forget about them. I'd be down to play some Lethal Company though. Yeah, weekends. Weekends. What are weekends like? I don't know. Maybe Saturdays. I don't know. I got to figure something out. Cause if I gotta host it and stream it, all the other shit, I just need to hit the lotto and not have a actual job anymore. This would be my job. I don't know how streamers do it. I can't call myself a streamer. I can't be on like this constantly without a destination in mind. And even so, if this was my full-time job, I would probably get tired of it after like 2 weeks. But maybe it's because it's just me in a situation by myself, because I guess a lot of the streamers, they have a cameraman when they go out and all this other shit, or they go to the streamer house. I've seen that as a new concept now, where like a bunch of people rent out a mansion or some shit, and they all, I guess, stream all day and put their winnings towards paying the rent. Could y'all do that? Would y'all live in a streamer house where all people do is content create? I don't know if I could do that. I can't be around somebody who's always like creating content. I think that's the thing. Like me doing this right now is just me chit-chatting because this is the subscriber show, but like having to draft content daily, it feels burdensome. Unless it was like in a TV show format, which I guess makes sense. I don't know. I'm rambling. I hear the thunder outside. 2-on-1. Yeah, content creation on your own it's a struggle. It's a very long, slow grind. And not one that is most appealing. I mean, making music is hard enough, right? Everybody here kind of knows that. It's a struggle enough to like come up with songs, get the rights to the beat, mix the songs, get the artwork, put it all together, release it. We could try to do a song. I would have to feel like I fit with the song. I don't know that I can. I know where I sound okay and where I don't sound okay, so I think it would probably be best if, I don't know, like me and Catalyst did a song last week, but it was kind of like on the spot, and I think we have similar taste in beats, so it kind of worked. So I think first and foremost, I'd have to even like the beat. But yeah, I'm first one's free. I always tell people that first one's free. After that, I don't know. See how I feel. Passive, I couldn't see Passive living in a streamer house. Passive would fight somebody day 3, maybe day 4. I'll give him an extra day. 'Cause day 3, he's trying to get up, brush his teeth, and goes into the bathroom. Somebody's got their camera all set up. They're doing their makeup and they're talking to God knows who on the stream. And Passive's like, man, I just need to take a piss and brush my teeth. And this motherfucker's got the bathroom all locked down. He's swinging on somebody day 3. Guarantee it. I don't know what it is about that song you like, Sully. Don't get me wrong, I like that song too. One of my favorite songs that came out of that week in Texas. Maybe it's just me. I can't speak for everybody else who was in the documentary, but I've long since moved beyond those songs. Like, those songs are like nowhere near like my favorite personal concoction of music that I've made. Like, I've checked out the hotel that those songs reside in. I've checked out and I've sent in a request to a construction company to send a wrecking ball there and just like flatten that whole shit out. Those songs are like afterthoughts to me. Oh yeah, I mean, speaking of that, Rogue, I do need to circle up with Bird because he did say that we should probably put it on streaming platforms. I just don't have all of the producer information, so I need to get that from him so that we could release it properly on distribution for people to consume in whatever fashion that they want to consume it. So, let me work on that. My bad. Coming soon, I should say. But yeah, give me some. I love that song, but I'm mentally not there anymore. It was a moment in time. And I think as an artist, that's one thing that you have to come to terms with, is that people will latch on to things that you may not feel association with anymore. Like Jay-Z famously said, you want my old songs, go listen to my old album. You want the old Jay, go listen to the old album. Like, you as an artist, you're going to constantly like move on to the next thing. And some people, their whole summer may be based off of a song you made like 3 years ago, and like you don't even feel like you're not even the same person anymore. Like, Joe Budden stopped making music because he's like, people want me to make music, but I made music at my most lowest points in life when I was depressed and all this other stuff. And it's like mentally taxing for the artist, where everybody else is like, oh man, that CD got me through the summer. That CD got me through Christmas. He's like, yeah, that shit fucked up my life. So like, not saying that this song was an example, but like, who I was when that song was made is not who I am as I move forward. So I respect and appreciate that people latch on to like those different moments, but me personally, I just don't feel the same. Different time. Almighty VA's project is out on Spotify now. I don't know when it will hit other streaming platforms, but I'll See Myself Out by Almighty VA available on Spotify, unless there is some country restrictions that I am not aware of, but take that for what you will. Featuring Rogue Jepsen, Passive the Rapper, myself. Who else is on there? Shadow of Loose Logic's group. The what the hell are they called? Fraternity. Yeah. Shadow from the Fraternity. And then a couple of other guys that VA works with, Molly and Molly. I'm messing that up. I'm just gonna stop there. But yeah, featuring a few folks, familiar faces. Production from Noir, resident producer in the community. So check it out if you got Spotify. It's available. As far as I know. I don't know if it's available in Europe, but I definitely saw it online yesterday. In America. What song represents my current preferred sound? Hold on. I have an answer for that. Let me check. Let me check my most played things. Because it's a good question. I would say my song on my project, I Don't Belong Here, What You Into. I don't think people really, well, I don't know what people think. I am not sure that that is a song that most people would listen to over the rest of the songs on the project, but that was probably one of my hidden favorites that I kind of just concocted on the fly. There's a couple of others that I was going to name, but I think that's like the most complete piece that I did on there. My preference. If I had to make more songs for my next project, they would all be in that universe, I should say. Which I am starting on another project. I got a bunch of beats from Gons. I just need to decide to put down the video games and lock in and do some music. But I have time off from work, so perhaps this weekend will be the week that I get started. But I anticipate being done by January, so I just need to get in the right mindset. I'm almost there. What else y'all got? What else y'all got before I get out of here? I've been on way longer than I thought I would be. But I appreciate all you folks for chit-chatting. Sully, Rogue, Passive. Appreciate the folks that did drop off some music. Swaglean, Kuiper, and The Fallen Dove. Which album rollout was the most appealing? So I have to think back to when albums were really, really rolled out. I don't know. I used to be heavy into albums. Like I would always like check, okay, what's coming out, way back in the day, back in my day, albums came out on Tuesdays. So I would always be checking like the weekend before what's coming out next week. And then the industry shifted to Friday releases and it's kind of stayed there since. But back when album rollouts were more of a thing, artists would do their press runs. I think the most intriguing rollout was man, this is tough. Okay, I have a good answer. If I want to talk about a complete rollout from like start to finish, Nelly Country Grammar was probably one of the best rollouts that I had ever seen. really close with like 50 Cent, but Nelly had like he had been shopping Country Grammar for like a long fucking time. And then finally got a deal with Universal. Country Grammar comes out, it blows up, and then he had a string of like #1 hits like continuously while competing with Jay-Z, Eminem, Nas, 50 Cent, Lil Wayne, Beyonce. Like Nelly was a guy amongst that guys for quite some while. He had Country Grammar, he had EI, he had Batter Up. Then he came back with the second album, Nellyville, with Air Force Ones, like #1. He even got his crew, the Saint Lunatics, on a couple of like. Nelly had like the most complete rollout I saw from freshman album to sophomore album. Arguably one of the best rollouts I'd ever seen. Very polished and very consistent. Now the drop off after that is something to, I guess, study and take home. But like, if you want to start your career and have like a diamond album, that's one person to take the formula from. Yeah, he had that song with Kelly Rowland. Man, dude had a very successful introduction into his career. Yeah, Dilemma. So I would say like that rollout to me was probably the most intriguing that I can like sit back and pinpoint. Sure, I can pick some of my favorite artists here and there, but like, what a time to be alive. Also an interesting rollout, Drake and Future. But Nelly definitely, and then I'd say 50 Cent. 50 Cent was everywhere. 50 Cent was also probably Nelly, 50 Cent, Eminem had the biggest freshman rollouts that I had ever seen, is what I would say. Debatable, but I think from if I have to go back and say, you know, who really knocked it out of the park on their first album, Drake would definitely be #4 on that list. I don't know what order I put him in. I probably go objectionally, I would say Eminem, Nelly, 50 Cent, Drake in that order. But music is subjective, but that's my objective opinion, just based on the impact that they had in those moments. People don't do album rollouts anymore. What about Wayne's debut? Wayne didn't really have a debut. So I know I have this conversation with people like every 6 months. I know a lot of people think that Wayne's career started with the Carter One, but Wayne's career actually started with a CD called True Story, and it was called BGs. It was supposed to be him and BG as a duo, and they were the BGs. BG was supposed to stand for Baby Gangstas. Lil Wayne's dad, his actual dad, decided he wanted to take him off of Cash Money and do some solo thing. He ended up getting murdered, but BG's album True Story, his very first album, ended up just being a solo album featuring Wayne, featuring Mac of No Limit and some other folks. And then Wayne came back to Cash Money and they put out The Block Is Hot. So Wayne didn't really have a debut until The Block Is Hot, but I think that the fanfare of The Block Is Hot was only acknowledged in the South, like from people who knew the Hot Boys and Cash Money and like the touring and stuff that they did from down there. Everybody else that you ask nowadays, like, oh yeah, the Carter this, the Carter that. To me, I really stopped paying attention to Lil Wayne's album rollouts after the Squad mixtapes and then the Carter. Like, I think Lil Wayne was really doing, I'm not saying his best work, but his most consistent work in his first 2 albums. And then he had a series of mixtapes with his crew called Squad, where they just, you know, freestyled on other people's beats. And then he put out the Carter, and then his work process changed. He went from writing the raps down to just, you know, his current method of, you know, quote unquote freestyle recording. Album rollouts now are all based on comedic noise. How much noise and attention can you garner and generate in order to get people to focus on you for that moment before your project comes out? In hip hop, I should qualify that. I feel like hip hop is more of a spectacle than it used to be. There's only like a few legacy acts that I've seen where they actually go around and they do like, oh, I'm going to interview at all these radio shows. I'm going to talk to these people, shake these hands, and then drop their album. Where other people are like, oh yeah, so-and-so's face is ugly. And then now people want to interview, oh, why did you say such and such about so-and-so? Oh, my album was coming out December 1st. I'll explain it on there. Like, I think rap has become more of a spectacle because people's attention spans are so short that people just say like, they feel like I need all the attention in order to get the momentum going. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think people need to invest the time and energy into building like an actual connection with fans, because that's why people, you know, move on to the next person, because there's no attachment to your story. They're just following the news cycle, and if all they follow is the news cycle, the moment you're out of the news, the less they appreciate you. Which fall off should be studied the most? I think most people would say easily Ja Rule, but I don't think Ja Rule's fall off should be studied. I think Ja Rule's fall off was just a couple of unfortunate timing events. I think as far as fall offs, I almost want to say record labels is in a whole. Like, I think the No Limit, Rough Riders, and who else was a good powerhouse? We all know why Rockefeller broke up. No Limit's fall off definitely should be studied. Like, No Limit went from like a bunch of southern no-name artists, regional acts, selling millions of records to like everybody disbanding and then like nobody really caring what they did anymore. Rough Riders went from like, we got DMX, we got the Locks, we got Eve, all of them like coming out and banging out some hits, doing some massive touring, to like now it's just Swiss Beats. I think those two fall off should be studied. Like, what happened to make a roster of artists like disband and not necessarily go solo, but how do you go from having a powerhouse to not having a powerhouse? Maybach Music would be another example of that. You had Rick Ross, Meek Mill, Wale. What happens when you get all these egos in place where people can't respect the other ego and let everybody exist for the better of the community? Hell, like maybe a little bit too close to home, but you know, Swisher House, all the Houston acts, like everybody came out. Lil Flip, Chamillionaire, Paul Wall, Slim Thug, everybody came out, sold 1 million records, and then country didn't give a shit. But that's why I say like the whole, like the rollout process, it doesn't need to be a spectacle. It needs to be an investment. Like, people need to understand some sort of connection to you as an artist, rather than just like, oh, I remember that person because they threw a wine glass at so-and-so's face on Love and Hip Hop. Like, I think that reality TV and social media access kind of killed the integrity of hip hop artists. It hasn't really impacted other artists as much, but it definitely like made rap artists who are already grasping for longevity in careers do some insane shit just to like get a camera pointed at them. I remember when DJ Drama was, or not DJ Drama, when DJ Vlad was an actual DJ putting out mixtapes, and now he's known as like the interview guy, quote unquote, Fed snitch. I don't know that he's a snitch or anything, but I remember when DJ Vlad was known for actually dropping mixtapes, not interviewing people. But everybody's had to shift how they profit from their names because there's no longevity here. Yeah, there's no groups anymore. Like I was thinking about that. I don't remember who I was talking to, but there's no like name a rap group that started in the last, I don't know, 5 years. The most recent rap group I can even think of is Ray Shrimmered, and even they've kind of like disbanded a little bit. But like, name a duo, name a rap group of like two or more people that has formed or started in the last few years and is still together and still dropping music prominently. I don't think people have it in them. Even classic acts are like somewhat torn apart from the logistics of music. I think I was seeing Naughty by Nature, Tretch was interviewing saying like their first project, he gave everybody writing credits even though he was the one doing all the writing. But now if they wanted to do a tour together, he's got to get his payback, right? He's got to get his piece of the pie. It's not just like, oh, I'm gonna show up for the strength of Naughty by Nature, which I understand, but you know, we'll see what happens. Suicide Boys, didn't they start like a decade ago though? I'm talking like new people. I feel like Suicide Boy. I think that's the thing that people kind of overlook at times. Is like we talk about like the established acts now as if they just started within the last 5 years. Like even the people that people herald right now, the Kendricks, the Drakes, the J. Coles, like all those guys are like late 2000s rookies. Like these guys are damn near approaching 15, 20 years in the game. Like, and I think the newer people, like I guess would be maybe the NBA young boys, the NLEs. Even then though, I think they're like 10 years deep now. I can't really name anybody who's really just like popped up in the last 5 years. Or maybe they haven't reached that plateau yet. Maybe there's like this purgatory of like 5 to 10 years between you just like starting out and you actually seeing the success or like people feeling the success. I don't feel like we have any like surprising rookies anymore. Maybe that's not a thing in this dynamic. But I also notice, and maybe this is a slap towards fans, fans don't really want to hear anybody new, right? Like, imagine you played somebody the best song that you've ever heard, and it was made by Rogue Jepsen on SoundCloud, right? If there's not a machine, and I say machine not as like an entity, but a machine of like multiple people like using it in social media, people talking about it, your friends sharing it, all this other. If there's not a machine behind like, hey, this Rogue Jepsen song is blowing up, people don't give a shit. Like, but if Drake drops a song, everybody's like, oh yeah, let me go listen to Drake. Oh, let me go listen to J. Cole. Let me go listen to the Kendrick. Like, you can hear the best song ever from somebody with no name, and like, sure, one or two people would be like, yo, I'm gonna go check that person out. I'm gonna support them, but like, it's definitely a hive mentality of music listeners where if it's not like a well-known name, they just don't pay attention. I've noticed that quite a lot. It's like people say that they love music, but at the same time, they only love certain music from certain people. And if it's not those certain people, then they don't pay attention. And it makes me question, like, do people really love art, or do they just love art that's positioned to them by society, right? Society kind of controls the hive mind. And if society doesn't say it's cool, then people kind of like, okay, I see you over there. It's kind of like how I tell people, your friends are not your fans. Don't ask your friends to support I'm not saying that they won't ever, but don't ask your friends to support your music, your art, your drawing, your pottery, whatever. Your friends are going to be like, oh yeah, I know a guy who does this, but they're never going to be like, yo, street team for my homie because he's out here doing his thing. They're just going to be like, oh, that's cool, and keep it moving. So, I don't know. I'm rambling. But yeah, friends and family are not your core audience. Strangers are more of your core audience, but it's weird. You have to figure out a way to get multiple strangers invested in what you're doing consistently. And that, my friends, is the conundrum we find ourselves in. So, I don't know. I've been rambling, hour and a half now. Unless y'all got any more interesting tidbits that I could ramble about, I think I'm gonna call it a night. Find something to eat. Shout out to Passive and Rogue and Fallen Dove for occupying my time. What makes an album 10 out of 10 for me? A 10 out of 10 album is an album that has some fun moments, has some interesting, thought-provoking moments, and it's not purposely trying to teach me a lesson. I don't need to be taught a lesson at my age. Like, I can discern the difference between different situations. So if I can have some fun, if I can sing along with it, if I can nod my head along with it, it's a 10 out of 10 album. The moment that I feel like I'm too burdened by the listening aspect, then I kind of check out. Or if it just seems like way too basic or manufactured. I don't like manufactured music, which is my struggle with K-pop, because a lot of K-pop is so manufactured. Even songs that I like, sometimes I'm like, I know this was just like JYP and PSY. They're in a studio and they're like, we need to write this hit, and they kind of just contrived it together. It's like, I struggle with K-pop because it sounds so fucking good. I don't think people. It's difficult. Like, I like the concept album. I like that an album has connecting dots between each part of the pieces, but I don't think that it's necessary. If you had like 12 just really good songs and you threw them together on an album, I think that's just as good as an album that tells a story. However, I don't think that artists put their 12 best songs on an album. Nor do I think that most artists are capable of stringing a cohesive story together along with 12 songs. But I don't think that one necessarily works better than the others. I think that where we fall short as artists is in the planning and the approach. Is like, are you really putting your 12 best songs on an album, or just 12 songs that you have on an album? Do these 12 songs really tell a story, or are these 12 songs that you made and you have this story in your head and maybe only 4 of them actually add to that concept? I think that either way is fine. I think it's what I notice is that people don't really have an execution of those concepts. I'm not a huge like Tyler the Creator listener, but I think that he has concepts and like an environment that he brings his audience into and people buy along with it. I'm not knee deep into his content enough to, really digest, does he execute it better or worse than others? But I'd say he's the one person that, creates a theme and stays with that theme. Everybody else, I feel like, mostly just drops an album. And it's like, hey, I got like 2 good songs, and the rest of these songs I made with my homies, and I think that they're good, but I don't know that they necessarily fit. It's usually what I hear. It's just like a bunch of random songs strung together. I think we did it, chat. I think we had a successful show. All right. Well, I'm going to call it a night. Appreciate you, Rogue, for all the questions. Tune in Sunday. What the fuck are we doing Sunday? The free submission queue. I don't know who will be here. If not, I'll be here. Listen to some music, give it some ratings, and then we'll be back next Wednesday to do this again. We'll have some maybe some topics to cover. But until then, I'll catch you folks on the Discord. Shout out to everybody who tuned in or watches this back. Pray for me. I'm going to eat these little pretzel dogs here.